Such a noob.
Welcome back to the channel. I am just a noob ripping packs. Today we're going to get into this 1989 Fleer baseball. I bought this in a lot of cards that I bought at the flea market. Um, I'll include a picture here real quick of everything that I got. I ended up getting all the items, all the baseball cards. There was a few football cards in there, but they were mostly all baseball, and some old bobbleheads and everything. And I think I ended up paying maybe like $2.50 to $3 an item. So, and I'm new, so I don't. I used to collect cards, mostly baseball cards. Me and my brother did back in the, I'd say, late 80s, early 90s is when we used to collect. So this was some of the stuff that we used to collect back in the day. And this has been sitting there. I don't know anything about any of these old things, all these old cards, until I saw a video. I actually saw a post on Facebook. And this is part of the thing that I want to do with this one here. And this has 5 rookie cards that people look for in here. The Gary Sheffield, Biggio, Randy Johnson, the Ken Griffey, and the John Smoltz. But, of course, the card that everybody looks for is the fuckface error card, I guess you would call it. There's no way of knowing. I think you do know from what I've read if you can get one, I guess, if it's from the earlier. But the only way to know is if you have a case code that these came out of, like the big case that these boxes came out of is the only way to know. But for those that maybe see this video in the future and want to just compare your box to mine, because I've seen some blue ones, but I think those packages look different. This is what this box looks like all the way around. There's this code there, which I don't think means anything on its own, 8609-9. It's got the 4. This one's got the 4 cards on the back there. I guess you can cut out. But like I was saying, I saw this post on Facebook of a guy. I think his name was Jeff Miller or Jeff Mills, I believe, that back in the 80s, I'm guessing, came up with, I guess he figured out the collation of the cards and kind of would let you, if you could see the back of the pack and you could see the name, the collation on these cards was so that you could figure out if you were going to get a Billy Ripken card in there. Now, that all applies, I believe, if I understand correctly, it only applies to the very first releases of the boxes. So if this is one of the ones that came after that was corrected and fixed with the smudge, or they blacked out the bat, and also the Randy Johnson Marlboro cigarettes background that is also corrected. Those are newer, I guess. So there's no way of knowing if you have one of the very, very first ones before they were corrected. So I don't know if this applies. We won't know. We're going to try them out just to see if any of this stuff matches up. But from what I understand, if it's one of the newer boxes that were corrected, this collation is not going to apply, I guess. It's not going to make any sense. And it's not going to work, and we'll know pretty quick if this is one of the boxes that has the error cards in it or not. Again, not all the... I've seen several people open these cases, these boxes, and not all of them have the Billy Ripken, even the corrected Billy Ripken card. I've seen some people pull all 5 of the rookie cards, and some just pull 2 or 3. We're going to, let me see, I think I messed up my camera over here. Let me fix my camera. I think I moved it. This box, by the way, has 1 pack missing. So I don't know if that makes any difference as far as what this box is. Maybe somebody can tell by looking at 1 pack and knowing what is in here. And so we already know. I mean, we don't, but I guess, if somebody opened that and knows that this isn't one of the early ones, then maybe that's why they didn't finish opening all the rest. I don't know. Or maybe one fell out. I have no idea. This is just the way that it came. It wasn't wrapped or anything. But there's supposed to be 36 packs in here, I think. Yeah, 36 packs. Like I said, we'll start by looking at the back card when we open it to see if it's any of these. This says that if the back card starts off with Tony Armas, Paul Molitor, Sean Dunston, Steve Curry, Charlie Hayes, checklist number 654, Chris Sabo, Scott Baileys, Bob McClure, Bo Jackson, Chuck Krim, then the next card should be a Billy Ripken. So we'll see if any of that holds. These are very old wax tied cards. The back card on this is Jeff Blauser, so that doesn't match that. So we'll just go through these and see if we find any of the 5 rookies. We got the sticker pack. We'll keep those separate. We start off with Bob Brower, Tracy Jones, Frank White, Bruce Benedict, Al Leiter, Jim DeShays. Again, I might not know a lot of these names. Dick Schofield, Jimmy Key. We've got Gene Nelson. We've got Ron Jones. We've got Jesse Barfield, Andy Van Slyke, Kent Herbeck, and we've got a Mike Greenwell. I guess these are inserts. Mike Greenwell, 89 Fleer All-Star Team. There's, I guess, 12 of these. We'll keep these separate over here. We'll keep the base here and the stickers over there. And then we've got this Jeff Blauser. I don't know if we should just skip around or do them by stacks. I don't know. Stickers. Okay, we didn't check the back. Lance Johnson. That's not one of the ones on the list. Steve Shields. Shane Raleigh. Gino Petralli. Ozzie Virgil. We got Double Trouble. Andres Galarraga and Gerald Perry. But that, I don't know if that's... Yeah, I think that's just regular base cards. It's just a different card. Ken Daly, Dave Clark, David Cohn, Larry Sheets, Mike Birkbeck, Jeff Montgomery, Sid Fernandez, John Farrell, Cal Daniels, and Lance Johnson. I'm going to move the base over here because those are going to quickly become a lot. The back of this card, we start with Dave Valle. That's not on the list, so we got Texas Sticker, got Kelly Downs, Ted Power, Mike Sharperson, Randy Myers, Terry Poole, Bob Welch, Glenn Hubbard, Willie Randolph, Bruce Ruffin, Pete O'Brien, Andres Thomas. We've got a Speed and Power, Jose Canseco, Candy Sierra, Neil Heaton, and Dave Valle. I don't know if it says on here how many cards are in the set. I think I had read that it was like 600 and something cards in the set. So that's a lot of cards. Even if you get different cards in here, you're not going to see every single card. Stickers. Start with Glenn Wilson, Bill McGuire, Todd Worrell, Bob Stanley, Daryl Boston, Herm Winningham, Otis Nixon, Alvin Davis, Brett Butler, Tom Brookins, got Fernando Valenzuela, Mark Williamson, Juan Agosto, Dave Stewart, and Sandy Alomar Jr. Excuse me. The back of this one is Ernie Witt, also not on the list. We've got the sticker pack, Lance McCullers. We've got a Prospects, Joe Girardi and Rolando Rooms. I'm sorry, throat's a little dry. Mike Davis, Cecilio Guante, Dennis Martinez, Mark Gubiza, Chris Brown, another Chris Brown, John Candelaria, Buddy Bell, Brian Downing, Dave Steeb, Mike Gallego, Milt Thomas, and Ernie Witt. The back of this one is Chet Lemon. That's not on the list. We've got our stickers. We've got Dave Schmidt. We've got Chris Bozio, Nick Capra, Bob Ojeda, Andy Allenson, Danny Jackson, Mark Salas, Joe Price, Mike Smithson, Les Lancaster, Glenn Braggs, Terry Clark, Steve Lombardozzi, Frank DePino, and Chet Lemon. Still haven't seen any of the rookies. Howard Johnson, also not on the list. Got our stickers. We've got Kevin Mitchell, Fred Lynn, Jay Howell, Rick Aguilera, Dave Smith. There's Mark McGuire, Ron Hassey. There's Ricky Henderson, Don Carmen, Pete Incaviglia. I remember that. That's when during my era here in Texas. Pete Smith. We've got Superstar Specials Power Center Kirby Puckett and Eric Davis. Bob Horner, Keith Atherton, and Howard Johnson. It's going to be a little bit of a longer video. This one we start off with Randy Johnson on the back. It is not one of the ones on the list. I guess we'll see here if we have one of those boxes or not. Shawan Dunston, Paul Molitor, Tony Armas. We got Al Newman, Jody Davis. We've got Frank Tanana, Benito Santiago. We've got Prospects Terry Taylor and Vance Lovelace. Alfredo Griffin. We've got Bobby Witt, also from my era, I remember that. Nelson Santovania. Got Kevin Seitzer, Pedro Guerrero, Joel Skinner, and we'll see if this Randy Johnson is a corrected yes. So this is a Randy Johnson rookie. You can still kind of see it in the background. It's hard to tell on camera, but you can see where there's been some editing. So I'm guessing if we do find a Billy Ripken, it's going to already be corrected. Start this one off with Mike Jackson. That's not one on the list. Here's our stickers. We've got Rick Honeycutt, Greg Gross, Mike Flanagan, Jim Gott, Greg Cagney. We've got Julio Franco on the All-Star team, 89 Fleer All-Star team. We've got Jose Alvarez, Bob Kipper, Scott Bankhead, Scott Terry, Mike Greenwell, Bobby Thigpen, Bo Diaz, Joe Hesketh, and Mike Jackson. So if this is one of the newer boxes, then maybe none of this cheat sheet will apply, but we'll still keep checking. We never know. But I think by this one being a card that's been corrected, it's no longer, we're not going to find a Billy Ripken with the full words on there. But again, this one you can tell there's like a little black box that's a different color than the background. But we'll see. We've got Wally Backman. That's not one of the ones on the list. Robbie Thompson, Mike Heath, Tim Belcher, Jay Tibbs. We've got Nolan Ryan, Dave Henderson, got Mike Brumley, Scott Nielsen, Lance Parrish, Jose Guzman, Paul Assenmacher. Got Hot Corners Wade Boggs and Carney Lansford, Larry McWilliams, Rod Allen, and Wally Backman. Luis Salazar, this is not on the list. Got our stickers. We've got Eddie Murray, Mark Clear, Jamie Quirk, Dave West, Rich Yett, Eric Davis, Kelly Perez, Trevor Wilson, Carlos Quintana, Mark Grace, Brian Yount, Dante Bichette, Eric Bullock, Doug DeShinzo, and Luis Zalazar. Got Bruce Ruffin, that's not on the list. Willie McGee, Rick Cerrone, Jack McDowell, Norm Charlton, Johnny Paredes, Henry Cotto, Kelly Downs, Ted Power, Mike Sharperson, Randy Myers, Terry Pule, Bob Welch, Glenn Hubbard, Willie Randolph, Bruce Ruffin. Again, we'll keep checking the back of these cards just to see, but again, this might not be one of the error boxes. Tom Henke, that's not on the list. Got our stickers. We're still looking for the rookies. We've only found one, the Randy Johnson, and it is the corrected Randy Johnson. We got Willie Frazier, John Moses, Mitch Webster, Jeff Robinson, Andy Hawkins. Got major prospects, Randy Kramer and Miguel Garcia, Mike Devereaux, Jose Cecina, Tim Wallach, Willie Wilson, Gary Sheffield. That's one of the one of the rookies, so that's Gary Sheffield. Yeah, it's one of the rookies. So we've got two. Got Gary Ward, John Fishel, and Chili Davis, and Tom Henke. This stack's getting big. I'm gonna move it over here out of the way. we can continue to stack over here on this side. We got Chris Gwynn on the back. That's not on the list. Got our stickers. Kevin Elster, Doug Jones, Jeff Treadway, Dave Gallagher, Chris Spear, Spike Owen, Greg Maddox, Bill Wegman, Stu Clyburn, Brian Harper, Mike Bielecki, Pat Sheridan, Dennis Rasmussen. We got major prospect Luis De Los Santos and Jim Campbell. And we got Chris Gwynn. We're looks like about halfway through. Got Henry Cotto. That's not on the list. Got our stickers. Dwayne Ward, Don Baylor, Steve Jeltz, Jeff Musselman, Sid Bream, Tim Laudner. Got our checklist. Got Tom Prince, Steve Balboni, Terry Pendleton, Roger Clemens, Melito Perez, Norm Charlton, Johnny Paredes, and Henry Cotto. Got on the back Eric Hansen, not on the list. Got our stickers. Start with Tom Foley, Charlie Librant, Mark Grant, Richard Dotson, Alan Ashby, Jack Howell, John Cerruti, Lance Blankenship, Bob Dernier, Jim Clancy, Bobby Bonilla, Juan Berenger. Got another checklist. Got Mike Dunn and Eric Hansen. We've got 2 out of the 5 rookies so far. This back is Ted Higuera. That's not on the list. Got our stickers. We've got Superstar Specials Dual Heat, Mark Davis and Dwight Gooden. We've got Danny Walling. We've got Ron Washington, Ron Darling, Doug Sisk, Daryl Hamilton. Got Bill Pecota, Jim Tufel, Greg Swindell, John Franco, Barry Jones, Kurt Manwaring, Jim Rice, got Rafael Palmeiro. Seinfeld fans? No, that's not Rafael Palmeiro. That was, I forget his name. Ted Guerra. Keith Hernandez. I don't know why I confused. It kind of looks like him. We've got Bill Buckner on the back. That's not on the list. Got our sticker. We got Mickey Tettleton. We've got Bill Duran. Dennis Eckersley. Dave Winfield. Hal Morris. Greg Harris. Jeff Russell. Gerald Perry. Pitcher Perfect Tom Browning. Greg Matthews. Jeff Kaiser. Got Darryl Strawberry. There's Cal Ripken Jr. Jeffrey Leonard. And Bill Buckner. still only 2 of the, unless I missed one, but I don't think so. We've got Bob Boone. That's not on the list. We've got our sticker. We've got Joey Meyer, Sherman Corbett, Charlie Leah, Goose Gossage, Gary Pettis, Randy Reddy. We've got prospects Brad Pounders and Gerald Clark, Kirk Gibson, Ed Vanderberg, Tim Burke, Pat Tabler, Eric Show, Luis Aguayo, Louis Meadows, and Bob Boone. Mike Jeffcoat is the back card, not on the list. Stickers, Corey Snyder. We've got Paul O'Neill. That's also a Seinfeld, from a Seinfeld episode. Paul O'Neill. Ken Patterson. We got Tony Persheka, Wes Gardner, Rick Sutcliffe, Dale Sveum, Greg Minton, Mark Portugal, Manny Trillo, Mike Henneman, Jimmy Jones. We've got Kevin Brown and Kevin Reimer prospects for the Rangers, Jesse Orozco, and Mike Jeffcoat. Got Steve Curry. Okay, Steve Curry is on the list right here. Is the next card Charlie Hayes? Okay, so if we follow this, it should be Steve Curry, Charlie Hayes. There should be a checklist. Chris Sabo, Scott Bales, Bob McClure, Bo Jackson, Chuck Krim, and then a Billy Ripken. So let's see. We'll start this one from the back. We got Steve Curry and Charlie Hayes is the next card. Checklist 654 is the next card. We've got Chris Sabo, which is the next one on the list. We've got Scott Bales is the next on the list. Bob McClure. The next one should be Bo Jackson, which it is. Then we should have Chuck Krim. So the next card should be a Billy Ripken card. There it is. Bill Ripken. Now to see, we'll leave it, see which one it is, which error card it is. It's going to be a fixed one, of course, a corrected, but we'll see which one it is. From the front, this is the sticker. We got Pete O'Brien, got Andres Thomas, got the Speed and Power Jose Canseco 40 steals, Todd Froworth, Tom Hare, Roger McDowell, and we get the, oh shit, we actually have that's crazy. We actually got the fuckface error card in here. I didn't think we would because we got the Randy Johnson fixed card. So I didn't think that this would be in there. Holy shit, but we did. We got one. That's crazy. I honestly didn't expect to get one just because of that Randy Johnson was corrected. But it's the unedited. Well, there we go. I honestly didn't think that we would get one. So I guess you can get the Randy Johnson corrected card, and in the same box still have the I guess uncorrected original Air Fuckface card. There's no way there's two in here, right, or anything, but that's crazy that we got one. Again, I didn't expect it just because that one was corrected. I thought it would be a scribble, the white one or the black box. Awesome. And put this back. That's crazy. Oh, wow. Again, we got one. Let's keep going, see if we can find the other rookies. So, this worked out, so that means that this is one of the original boxes. We start off with the sticker. We got Cecil Fielder. Got Jeff Robinson. Now it'd be cool if we get the other three rookies, and we'd have everything that we want out of one of these boxes. Alan Anderson. Got another checklist. We've got Dave LaPointe. Got Jay Buhner. Tom Brunansky. Todd Bessinger. Steve Lyons. Ron Robinson. John Dobson. Mark Langston. Don Robinson. Dave Bregman. And Oral Hershiser, sorry. Got Calvin Schiraldi, that's not on the list. We'll keep going. That's the stickers. Charlie Puleo. Cannon Arms, Chris Sabo and Bobby Bonilla. We've got Luis Alicea. Brad Havens. I'd like to at least find the Ken Griffey Jr. in here too. Dwight Gooden. Tom Niedenfuer. Odell Jones. Gary Thurman. Mackie Sasser. Mel Hall. Rob Murphy. Dan Pasqua. Dave Dravecki. Kevin Romine. And Calvin Schiraldi. I'm going to keep checking the names just in case. Mark Carrion. That's not on the list. We got our stickers. We got Rafael Ramirez. Stan Javier. Carmelo Martinez. Don Mattingly. Mike Schmidt. Scott Fletcher. Zane Smith. NL Pitching Power, Danny Jackson and David Cohn. We've got Steve Peters, Tom Candiotti, Terry Leach, Joe Orsulak, Charlie O'Brien, Jose De Jesus, and Mark Carrion. I forgot I should have set aside the... How many packs ago was that? Oh, there it goes. Right to it, the Bo Jackson. That's what I was looking for too. Should have set it aside. We've got Dale Murphy. Is that on the list? No Dale Murphy on the list. Stickers. Ivan Calderon. Tim Bertzas. Brian Holman. Scott Bradley. Ernest Riles. Eric King. Mike Marshall. Terry Kennedy. Glenn Davis. Dave Parker. Jack Clark. Tommy John from the surgery, I guess. Mike Maddox. Got Ruben Sierra. And Dale Murphy. there's no way there's like two of them in here. I just at least like the Ken Griffey. Start this with Chris James. That is not on the list. Got our stickers. Got Pat Perry, Lou Whitaker, Ed Whitson. We've got Steve Wilson and Cameron Drew prospects. Dave Anderson, Charlie Hugh or Howe, Bryn Smith or Brian Smith, Floyd Bannister, Dave Leeper or Leiper, Rafael Santana, Larry Anderson, Jim Eppard, Manny Lee, Luis Polonia, Chris James. We've got Cecil Espy. That is not on the list. Got our sticker. We've got Lee Smith, Harold Baines, Jeff Reed, Luis Rivera, Harold Reynolds, Jose Uribe, Don Hinkle, Ramon Martinez, Pete Stanicek, Kevin Bass, Storm Davis, Marvell Wynn, Don Slott, Kevin Takovi, and Cecil Espy. Let's move all these cards over. Stack's getting pretty big. We're down to the last, looks like 8 packs. See if we can find the other rookies. We've got Ellis Burks. Is that on the list? Ellis Burks. No, not on the list. We've got our stickers. We've got Greg Harris, Rick Rodin or Rodden, Craig Biggio. That's the other rookie right there. So now that's 3. 3 of the rookies. We need 2 more. We need Ken Griffey and John Smoltz. See if we can knock it out of these last 8 packs. We got Johnny Ray, Kelly Gruber, Eric Plunk, Von Hayes, Mark Eichhorn, Eichhorn, I guess, Junior Ortiz, Jeff Reardon. Got our checklist. We got Vicente Palacios, Edgar Martinez, Tony Pena, and Ellis Burks. We've got Mark Davidson. That is not on the list. Got our sticker. We've got Carmen Castillo. We've got Gary Carter, Rick Shue, Paul Mirabella, Tom Gordon, Keith Miller, Brooke Jacoby, Jose Rijo, Sean Illegas, Atlee Hammaker, Mike Bodeker, Damon Berryhill, Greg Brock, Jack Lazorko, and Mark Davidson. Yeah, we got about 6 packs, including this one to go. Jose Oquendo, that's not on the list. We got our stickers. We got our prospects, Scott Service and Shane Turner. Ippolito Pena, Danny Darwin, Wally Joyner, Fred McGriff, Todd Burns, David Palmer, David Wells, Doug Drabeck, Dan Gladden, Darryl Strawberry on the 89 Fleer All-Star team. We've only gotten 3 out of the 12. Rick Mailer, Brian Fisher, Mike Campbell, and Jose Oquendo. We've got Craig Worthington. That is not on the list. Got our stickers. We got Frank Viola. Alan Trammell on the 89 Fleer All-Star team. So now we've got 4. I don't think we're going to get the other 8. Bruce Sutter. Felix Fermin. Oh, there's our Ken Griffey. Alright, so we got Ken Griffey Jr. too. So all we're missing now is John Smoltz. Unless I passed it, didn't notice it. We're only missing John Smoltz. Joe McGrain. Jody Reed. Fred Manrique. Keith Brown. Andy McGaffigan. Mike Moore. We got Will Clark. Paul Gibson. Steve Sachs. And Craig Worthington. We're down to the last layer down here. 4 more packs to go. We've got Mike Lavalier. That is not on the list. Tony Gwynn. We've got Grady Hall and Mike Rockford prospects. Alejandro Pena. Ray Hayward. Andres Galarraga. Danny Tartable, also Seinfeld reference. John Tudor. Neil Allen. Dave Meads. Mike Witt. Rance Molinix. Felix Jose. John Smalls. There it goes. So that's all 5. So we got all 5 rookies plus the Billy Ripken original unedited fuckface on the bat. Nelson Liriano. Mike Lavalier. Alright, so we got everything out of this one box, even with 1 pack missing. When I saw the 1 pack missing, I figured maybe somebody checked 1 and knew what was in here just by checking the 1. I don't know how, but maybe you could. Got Greg Harris. This is not on the list. We got stickers. We got Mike Krakow. Dennis Lamp. Vance Law. Dan Plisak. Dan Petrie. Gene Larkin. Darren Jackson. Jack Morris. Mark Davis. Got major prospects Lenny Harris and Marty Brown. Danny Heap. Jeff Kunkel. Jeff Parrott. George Brett. Was that also referenced on Seinfeld? I don't remember. It sounds familiar. Greg Harris. It's our next to last pack. Got Kurt Ford. Not on the list. Got our stickers. Mike Fitzgerald. Jerry Reed. Candy Maldonado. Walt Terrell. Franklin Stubbs. Carl Nichols. Billy Hatcher. Walt Wise. Gary Templeton. Mike Pagliarulo. Phil Bradley. Steve Bushell. Ron Gant. And we got NL All-Stars Will Clark and Rafael Palmeiro. And Kurt Ford. So this is our last pack. Again, we got all 5 rookies. And the Billy Ripken. Got Kurt Stillwell. That's not on the list. Got our sticker. We got Don Paul. Craig Lefferts. Oil Can Boyd. Ryan Sandberg. BJ Surhoff. Mike Cook. Herman Gonzalez, Gary Varsho, Matt Noakes, John Crook, or Kruk. We've got prospects Jim Corsi and Bob Milacki, Tracy Woodson, Mike Stanley, Tim Raines, and Kurt Stillwell. So, here's all the stickers we got. I doubt that these things still work, still stick. They're still cool looking, but no, they got a little bit of stick to them, but they're not going to stay on anywhere. We've got these four. I have 12. Alan Trammell, Darryl Strawberry, Julio Franco, and Mike Greenwell of the 89 Fleer All-Star team. So there's 12. We only got 4. And then we got all these. They're still base, but they're like, I don't know. They almost look like inserts. Different kind of cards. But we did get... So we did get the Randy Johnson rookie with the blurred out Marlboro, even though it's hard to tell on camera, but I can still kind of see it in the background. So it's almost like they stamped the cards themselves rather than like editing and reprinting or something, because you can see, it's hard to tell, but you can kind of see where there's a different color little box, or maybe it's printed, I don't know. But because this one came out with the corrected Marlboro sign, I didn't think that I thought that we were going to get a Billy Ripken corrected card because of it. We got the Gary Sheffield rookie. We got the Ken Griffey rookie. We got the John Smoltz. And the Craig Biggio. So we got all 5 rookies out of this case, even with 1 pack missing. And the uncorrected Billy Ripken. Again, Billy Ripken. You can see original, unedited fuckface card. So this is the list that made me want to open this. So thanks to, I think it was Jeff Mills is his name, that he posted on what is it, Sports Cards Nonsense Facebook group, and I saw it and I remembered that I had one of these boxes, so I wanted to go through it and test this theory. So it worked out. So this must be maybe not one of the originals, but if not, I don't understand how the Marlboro is corrected, but the Billy Ripken card isn't corrected. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but maybe y'all let me know in the comments if that's possible, or if it's possible that some of these packs got mixed from different boxes or something, or I have no idea. Again, thank you guys for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all the things help out my new channel. Some of these, I don't know, I'll probably list on my eBay store, link in the description. Again, let me know what you think. Watch my other videos. This was a pretty long video, maybe my longest video. It was worth it. It was worth it to get every card that everybody wants, basically. Every rookie and the card that everybody wants of these. So, again, thank you guys for hanging out. And we'll see you on the next rip.